Look who's returned to our studio, ladies and gentlemen. Dennis Leary is here, back again. Good to see you, sir.
Okay, that was such a golf clap. Are you kidding me, guys?
Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Leary.
Oh, my God.
Effin' Leary.
How many years since I've been on the show? 7 years, and they give me that golf clap? I am highly disappointed now.
Well, let's make up for it with a clip.
My daughter is played by an actress named Taylor Mishiak. She used to be on Dave on FX.
Yes.
She is fantastic. She is, I can't say enough about her or the rest of the cast, because we do a lot of improvisation.
Yes.
And she's just, most of the time on this show, I end up in scenes sometimes when the improvisation is happening. I'm just trying not to laugh.
Not to laugh, you're going to break
because,
up. Yeah.
The writer is a brilliant guy named Joel Church Cooper. He did Brockmire.
We know Joel. We know
Yes.
Joel.
Right. So Joel is a brilliant writer.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Yeah, and he's on set.
Yeah.
And he wants to shoot the pages, which are really funny, but then he also wants to play around immediately after we get the pages. So you have to be able to improvise. So this, I'm telling you, Taylor, all of them are great, but Taylor and I have it's just, I love working with her because the relationship is so fraught. It's the worst dad ever,
right,
as opposed to the best dad ever.
Thank you.
And so she's just constantly like throwing stuff at me, and I you saw me stumble a couple of times in that conversation. She's throwing stuff out at me, you know.
And it was great. I mean, it's such a fun show. Again, the season finale is tonight on Fox. You can watch it the next day on Hulu, right here on Roku.
Binge it on Hulu
today. Well, just not right now. And not in the middle of
now.
This. Right, exactly. Not now, but just
not
make a
while
note.
I'm here for the first time in 7 years.
That is correct. You have to make a mental note of doing that. And you were telling me backstage, I had no idea. You shoot this in Ireland? You shoot a significant of it in Ireland?
It's set in the Netherlands.
Right.
It's based on a real army base that was closed down because in the Netherlands, prostitution is legal and so are drugs. And this base, it was a real base. It has no weapons, no tanks, no fighter jets. It did the laundry and delivered the wine and cheese for the other 32 NATO bases, right? But because it was in the Netherlands and there was prostitution and drugs, they inevitably made their way into there was a black market situation on the base.
Damn.
So that's the premise of the show, is my daughter is in charge of this base, and I get sent there because they want me to retire.
Yes.
Because I'm like General Patton. I'm a battle guy. And I insulted the Joint Chiefs of Staff in a big meeting. And they forced me to go to this base. So it drives me crazy because it's just all laundry and wine and cheese and drugs and there's no weapons. There's not a gun on the base.
And you're going Dutch because you're going to the Netherlands, but you're splitting the power with your daughter.
He's so smart. See, he's not just the best dad ever.
Yeah.
He's the smartest dad ever.
You know what? I get it, is what I'm saying. I get it, and I get you, Dennis Leary.
How are you, man?
I'm great. It's been too long.
I love this show. I don't know why it took me so long to come back.
I appreciate you saying that. I would love having you on it.
Remember when the last time I was here, I think I took over and hosted.
You did, in fact, do that. You also, I do believe, this was back in the day when we used to preview who is coming up next by having you appear on camera on our green.
Yes.
And you started firing golf balls, Texas wedge style, with the putter.
I tried to hit you.
Yeah, and balls were like flying, like serious
I know, but I
balls.
couldn't hit you because I suck at golf. I literally, and by the way,
I was only armed with that knowledge.
I
as you
know,
were
my short game was it was actually the best part of my game. I threw the clubs away. Is
that right?
Finally, yeah. Okay. I used to have my own charity golf tournament for my Leary Firefighters Foundation. And that only worked because they wanted me to drive around hole to hole to play with everybody, right?
Yeah.
But that is I played hockey. I still play hockey. I boxed. I played baseball. The hardest thing I've ever done in sports is try to play golf.
Yeah.
The ball not moving was a problem for me from the whole forget the Zen thing. Are you crazy?
Yeah, right.
I'm not built for it because I'm cursing, screaming in between shots.
Yeah, that you kind of need more of a even keel, patient manner when you're playing golf.
It didn't work for me. The last time I played, my son's a great golfer, and he said, "Come on, Dad, come on, try it one." It's been a while, so I went out, and the first shot I hit, there was a Marshall shed over here.
Yeah,
and shooting this way, and I hit a line drive into the
Marshall's.
And I started laughing, and my son got pissed at me. He's like, "What are you laughing about?" I was like, "There's no point. Why am I doing this?" And then I played the second hole, and then I just drove around with him because I just. It's it.
That's as much fun as you can have.
It's over. Never playing again.
What did you think of the Four Nations stuff?
Loved it.
Were you locked in?
Yeah, totally locked in. It's great. I mean, I'm pissed that we lost Charlie McAvoy. I'm a Bruins fan.
Yes, right.
Like Kachuk getting hurt. I mean, but they
put it on the line.
I know, but it's so intense. There's nothing like that, Olympics or international competition like that to get. I mean, it's the best. It's not the same in basketball. When we go out and play in the Olympics, basically.
Well, the final, the Thursday night final in Boston.
Yeah.
In TD Garden. Where they brought out, they brought out Eruzione beforehand and Gretzky and it was apparently the toughest ticket in the history of TD Garden.
Oh yeah, no, it was tough. It was going to be tough anyways, but once the heat built up.
Oh yeah,
Mike Eruzione, baby. Mike Eruzione.
And it was 2 days before the Miracle on Ice 45th anniversary.
Yeah.
It was great.
I used to skate against Mike in East Boston. That's where he's from. Yeah.
What do you mean you used to skate against
I skated against him in the men's league. When I didn't play against him in high school, but I played in a men's league, and we played. I can't remember the name of his team.
Pre-Olympics for him? Or
no. This is like when we were adults.
So Eruzione's out there, Mr. Gold Medal himself.
Oh yeah, no, he's a rink rat. I don't know if he is anymore. I was in Boston. I think I was making a movie or something in Boston, and we went out and skated. My whole family's up there, and I used to play up there in men's league. So my men's league team was still playing there. Do you want to come out? I was like, yeah, I'll come out and play. Yeah.
And Eruzione's on the right.
Yeah, he's a rink rat. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I know.
How many shifts can you give me right now, Denis Leary? How many shifts?
I play like 3 times a week during the winter, especially.
What's your, what are you?
I'm a defenseman.
You're a defenseman.
I went from being a rushing, scoring. My speed was the only thing I had in my favor in hockey, right? My speed and my anger. It's a great sport for rage. And my speed is now gone. And one of the leagues I play in is all ages, right? And a lot of the daughters and the sons of the guys play, but these are like really like we have girls who play in the professional hockey league play.
Right.
So I'm a stay-at-home defenseman, and I tell kids in advance, if you're going around me, I am gonna clutch, grab, and trip you because they're so fast now. They're unbelievably fast. I do a lot of tripping, a lot of cross-checking, a lot of clutch and grab. I mean, I can't cover them anymore.
So is there anybody reffing this thing? Anybody?
No.
So,
I mean,
there's no. So why not do it if there's no penalty box?
Exactly. Then I play in a league that's my guy. I think the beginning age is like 45, and up through. I'm 68 this year, up into the 70s, and that I'm still fast in that league. So I think I'm moving into the 70 and up league soon, just because then I'll be really fast.
Attaboy.
Yeah, but you got to keep playing.
Denis Leary here on the
Richard.
Listen, man, the Four Nations again. That was one of ESPN's greatest broadcasts in terms of numbers. In the history, they're putting hockey on there, or almost any sport that they put on there.
That was great hockey.
It was great.
Those 3 fights at the beginning of that game.
Well, that one is what set my phone off.
Yeah,
like I wasn't watching the beginning of it, and my phone starts buzzing like crazy. 3 dropping of gloves in 9 seconds.
That game, I had everything set up.
Yeah.
I have my own room, my own television. I told my wife, I'm watching this game. I don't want any interruptions.
Yeah.
But I was getting my snack ready. I was still in the kitchen, the other room, and I could hear it. I was getting my snack ready because I figured, the puck drop, and then I'll. Yeah. And I hear the fight start, so I go in, and I'm like, and then I go to get my no fight, and I was like, I'm not getting the snack now. That was awesome. And by the way, I have to say, even though they play their rivals of the Bruins, the Kachuk brothers, man, their father, who's from Massachusetts, was a great player and deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And that's a campaign that needs to be spoken about more publicly. Mm-hmm. So, Kachuk needs to be in the Hall of Fame. He was a great player. But those two kids are amazing hockey players.
They are.
Yeah, amazing hockey players.
And they're great representatives of the USA across the chest too, Mac.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. Dennis Leary here on the Rich Eisen Show again. The season finale of Going Dutch airs tonight on Fox, the next day on Hulu. We haven't done this in a while with you. Celebrity, true or false, parts of your career that we've heard about that I want to know if it's true or not.
Okay.
Dennis Leary, hit it.
Celebrity,
Ooh,
true
a lot of pressure. It should be the thing shouldn't. Yes. It shouldn't be just true or false. It should be, does he remember? I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
We're going to test it. We're going to test it right here.
Did you do this with Kevin Costner?
We did.
I can't remember. I watched it. Okay,
you did.
Okay.
This with
Did
Kevin.
You do it with Larry David?
No. What we do with Larry is we give him social situations.
Yes, of course.
Ask him what's right to do or not.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we do with Larry.
He's the man to ask for that.
You know, like, stuff like destination weddings and things like that.
Oh,
like, do you bring a gift if you go to a destination wedding?
Don't start. My son just got engaged. We just had the destination wedding conversation in my house like less than a week ago. So...
So I touched a third rail here. I don't mean to do it.
Yes, there's a third rail. There is a third rail. How old are your kids now?
16, 14, and 11.
All right, so you're not there yet.
Well, where's the destination?
This is the thing that drives me nuts. Okay, this is the thing that drives me nuts. Right. So I'm just going to give you an example.
Sure.
Last summer,
yes,
my I think it was last summer. One of my nieces got married, and she decided to do a destination wedding in Vermont. I live in New York, which is drivable. Yeah, right. It's her mom is from Boston, the Boston area. So it's like a lot of the people in both families are going to be able to drive. Right. Some people are going to have to fly in. It was great. It was 4 days. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to stop here and just say, even though I love my niece and I was glad to go, and it was beautiful. It was fantastic. There's 4 days. So you get there on Thursday. There's a dinner on the thing on the Thursday. And Friday, there's some activities. And there's another dinner on Friday on the thing. And then Saturday, there's a thing. And then the wedding is Sunday.
Yes.
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful wedding. But here's the other one, right? Which is my daughter's getting married in, they're doing it in the Caribbean. It's like, so wait a minute. You want people, because you're paying for your own hotel rooms and your flights, right? You're so important. Your love is so big that you're good, right? Because I've done those. I've done those with nieces and nephews, and then they're divorced 2 years later with a kid. With a kid. Do you mind watching the kid? The kid from the Caribbean wedding thing that didn't work out? That I spent all the money for? Why am I spending money? So that's my thing. I said to my son and his girlfriend, and they haven't exactly decided, but I think we've convinced them they live in Brooklyn, to do it in New York, in the city that's beautiful, blah, 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 bing, right?
Right.
And they were just at a destination wedding someplace like Aruba or something, like a couple weeks ago, right? And that was a pain in the ass. They had to fly, pay, right? So I'm like, do it in Brooklyn, do it in Manhattan, right? That's a destination for some people too, by the way. People from California
so we're to be determined. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we're still. I think we're going to be Brooklyn. So I just don't. How?
So I'm with you, just so you're aware.
Yeah, don't charge people.
What I'm saying is
4 days.
So I
five.
The argument that I've said with my wife and that I brought up to Larry is that you should not be required to give a present if you go to a destination wedding.
The present is you are paying.
My presence is my present.
No present.
And Larry basically said that if you're invited to a destination wedding, you don't even go. And I said to him, what is the...
Larry's present to them is him not showing up.
I said, what is the distance from your house that you'd consider...
For a wedding.
For a wedding, he said an hour and a half by car.
That's more. That's more than I would.
Interesting.
I would have guessed he would have said 20 minutes.
He said an hour and a half by car, and he basically said when you get your
each way.
No, just to go. I guess an hour and a half by car each way. And he basically, I didn't ask him if that was a round trip. I should do that the next time. And he basically said that when you get an invitation, you should just write in the RSVP, too far. So, but then got a snort from Denis Leary.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right. So, celebrity true or false?
Yes.
Here we go. Denis Leary.
Yes.
True or false? You refuse to wear a glove with Mickey Mantle's signature on it for
True.
the movie The Sandlot.
True.
So you're.
And by the way, it was my first movie.
Yes, I was about to say.
Yeah.
So this is your first movie.
And I loved the script. I mean, I'm no genius, and I was brand new to the movie business, but I was like, I love sports movies and I love baseball movies. I was like, I really think this is one of those ones. If they do it right, this could be like a thing that kids will watch forever. And so I was totally in. And
you were right, by the way. We show it to my kids.
Yeah. But I was like, dude, I got to tell you, I cannot. My character and me are both telling you I cannot. And I love Mickey Mantle. Right? You want to talk Yankees? I mean, and baseball greats, but I'm not wearing a Mickey Mantle.
So is it true they had to get you a Red Sox one?
Yeah.
In order for you to use it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And they didn't think you were a diva?
And I have been involved in other movies where they've said, like, I read it in the script and he walks in wearing a Yankee cap. I go, I'm not wearing a Yankee cap. And now they know. They just don't worry about that Yankee cap thing. We're going to take that out. And I'm like, well, good, because no. It's like. Oh my God! It's like, I'm not even a lapsed Catholic. I'm so out of that church. It's like when I go to when there's a funeral or a wedding, in my family that takes place in a Catholic church, the priest will always make some kind of nice to have you here, because they don't. You can feel like the candles melting extra fast when I walk in. You know what I mean? So a Yankee cap on my head is Satan-esque to me.
So there was no that you weren't afraid it would filter back to James Earl Jones that you were a diva about your glove or anything like that?
I didn't care. I don't care. The Red Sox blood, the Bruins blood, they run deep.
Did you meet James Earl Jones on the set?
Yeah.
Did you have a good story about that at all or no?
Well, he was, I'm such a, historically such a fan of him as an actor.
Sure.
That when I was a kid, I remember seeing The Great White Hope. I don't know if you ever saw that movie. And he was an amazing theatrical actor as well. So I'd seen him as a young acting student. I saw him on Broadway. I can't remember the play now, but forget the movie work and The Field of Dreams, which was, that was one of those movies that I literally was crying in the theater with Jeff Garlin from Curb Your Enthusiasm. I saw that with Jeff.
No kidding.
We were unknown guys at the time, obviously, and we're two huge baseball fans. We both went to that movie, literally grown men crying in the movie theater. So I was. Of course, I wanted to ask him a million questions about acting.
Sure.
And about The Great White Hope and stuff. But, we're on set. He had a million lines. I have, so it was just to be in his presence was amazing.
That's pretty cool, man. I love it.
But to be in a movie with him?
And by the way, you're not wrong. That The Sandlot lives forever.
Yes.
It does.
Great movie.
True or false, Denis Leary, you were invited to be in R.E.M's Shiny Happy People music video after they saw you rant about them in an MTV sketch.
No.
That is false.
It's false. I'll tell you what is true is I did a rant I did an MTV spot about Shiny Happy People.
Okay.
And some other stuff I hated. And I, there was real anger and rage. And then I was in a restaurant in Los Angeles with Sean Penn, who's an old friend of mine. And it was kind of empty. We were having an early dinner, and it was an outdoor patio, so you could smoke. So we're just sitting there, two angry Irish guys smoking, and Penn, my back was to the door, and Penn goes, hey, Michael Stipe's on his way over here. I go, what? He goes, Michael Stipe's walking over, and I was like, what? And I turn, Michael Stipe, so I don't know, right?
Yeah.
But when you piss people off, and he walked up and he hands me a little matchbook, and then walks away, doesn't say anything, and I open the matchbook cover, it's the old matches.
Yeah, of course.
And it says, I hate shiny happy people too. And I'm like, and so we look over and he's at a table and he's smiling. So Sean and I go, and we went over and we sat with him, and he was the greatest guy. He had a great sense of humor about himself. We knew mutual people, musicians. So it was really, and then I did a Fashion Rocks charity event for the the king of England now, but at the time he was the Prince's Trust. I hosted it it was like 17 fashion designers and 17 rock stars. Yeah. And Michael was singing with somebody, I can't remember who, Bryan Adams or something, at that gig. And he was still great. He was, he was a really nice guy about it.
I imagine he didn't perform Shiny Happy People.
No,
because he hates it.
Yeah.
That is great. I got a couple more.
They had some great songs, but Shiny Happy People was not
one of them.
one of them.
Clearly, that has been stipulated by you. True or false, you were offered Mark Wahlberg's role in The Departed, but had to turn it down because of scheduling conflicts with Rescue Me.
Yes. Now, let me be clear about this one.
Okay.
I can't. I think I was offered Alec Baldwin's role first.
Okay.
Right? I know Scorsese. I knew him then. Rescue Me was such a monster because I was also writing that show.
Sure.
And it took us.
You were in almost every scene too.
Yeah. So it was like it would take us, 4 or 5 months to shoot the show, and then it took us a couple of months in advance to start writing it, and then we would write as we went. So it was a monster schedule. So I would have like maybe 2 months off total, and sometimes only a month off, at the end of the season. And Scorsese's producer called me and said, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, my God. And I said, I think I had like 3.5 weeks. And they said, we can do it. We'll stick you in. And I said, but you're going to be shooting while I'm shooting the beginning of the next season of Rescue Me. And they said, well, we'll shoot you on the weekends. You could shoot Rescue Me Monday through Friday. I'm like, that's crazy. And I couldn't do the Mark Wahlberg role. Then they thought about the Baldwin role. And then I realized, like, I don't want to do this because it's not going to be fair to him, and it's not going to be fair to Rescue Me, right? More importantly, my one time I'm going to, first work with Scorsese, I thought there'd be more, right?
Sure.
Like, I don't want it to be like I'm tired and exhausted and just flew up from New York.
Yeah.
So I turned him down, and thinking I was going to, be in one of his movies. What a moron. Here I am.
What a moron.
What a moron.
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
So that is true.
So I'm still hopeful,
awesome.
Marty.
You never know.
Yeah.
Hey, man, there's still
Old Irish gangster.
This,
right?
True or false, Denis Leary?
By the way, I can't wait to see Alto Nights where De Niro plays two gangsters.
No doubt. De Niro, man.
De Niro, the greatest.
Last one for you, Denis Leary. True or false? You got acting tips from Bill Belichick for your role as Coach Penn in Draft Day.
I did. He's probably. I kept it quiet for a long time because I promised him I would. I loved the script. I think I told you, might have said this to you before, but like, somebody called me. My agent called me and he said, "Hey, Kevin Costner's doing a football movie with Ivan Reitman." And he's about to say something, and I went, I'm in. He goes, well, no, let me. I said, no, I'm in. He's like, don't you want to know who you're playing? I said, I don't care who I'm playing. A sports movie with Kevin Costner. I could not be a bigger Costner fan.
No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, all of those movies, and also there's westerns. And the greatest western he ever did, which doesn't get enough credit, Open Range. You ever see that movie?
No, I have not.
Open Range is the best western he ever did.
Okay.
It's with him and Robert Duvall. He directed it and wrote it.
Okay.
Amazing movie. Has the greatest shootout in the history of westerns. Anyways, I told Kevin that. Anyways, so I got the script. I talked to the writers. I talked to Kevin briefly. And then I said to Bill, like, can I send you this and you look through it and tell me what's real, what's not real, blah, blah, blah.
You sent him the Draft Day script.
I sent him the script. He read it. And we got on the phone and went through it. And he gave me some great pointers about this, that, the
Anything
other thing.
that you can remember?
One of the things that if you saw the movie,
yes, of course.
they put the thing where they have the player look at the playbook. They can tell it. He looked at the playbook by putting a $20 bill in it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So Belichick said, "That's mine." I invented that, and I was like, so I told the writers. I said, "Blah, blah, blah," and they went, "Oh, we didn't know that. We just heard it from this guy that used to work for the Jets." I'm like, "Well, yeah, right?" Because Belichick's just. I mean, he is a genius. Yeah, he's a psychological genius when it comes to everything.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So he's reading the script and he goes, "That's my movie."
Yeah, that was mine. So he was really helpful, and I had a blast making that movie, man. Costner is such a pro, such an amazing guy, but also as such a generous. His concern every day was that everybody else was really good, because he knows as a team player, like in order for the thing to work, we all have to be good, right? And God, he was good.
Every time the draft comes up, I hear about it. You know, I'm in it as well, just as a brief bit.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, we were shooting in New York City at Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah.
And, you know, Frank Langella played the owner.
And he was great.
And he came up like Frank Langella. I mean, my God, he's so. I'm sitting there in between nights 1 and 2 of the draft, and I figured I'll have the script right here in front of me. I didn't look at it, or I didn't care. Like I'm gonna do it for sure. And he comes walking up to me in Radio City Music Hall, Frank Langella.
Frank Langella, one of the greatest actors of all time.
Agreed. And he looks at me, he goes, "Would you like to run lines?" And I'm like, oh
my God.
I haven't looked at the script yet. And I'm like, just give me a minute, Mr. Langella. Went up there and he sat down and I looked at my script. I hope he didn't mind me just looking at my script. And we went over. I have run lines with Frank Langella.
Dude, I got to tell you something. Frank Langella, first of all, he's been a great actor for so long in the theater. He did Frost Nixon, the play Frost Nixon, but I saw it on the stage.
Right.
It's one of those things where you go like, why am I acting? Why do I think I can do this job after you see a performance? He played Nixon. It's so insane. And on draft day, I peppered him. I just peppered him. He's one of those guys that will tell you the stories. Like I was like, listen, I know you performed and then for the Kennedys and then were invited to Hyannisport. So he told me that story about being with JFK and Jackie and Bubba. And then I asked him about, and he'll tell you all the stories.
He's spilling the tea, man.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
Dude, it's been great having you here. You're the best,
I'm done?
dude. Yeah, I mean, unless you want to stick around for one more segment. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.